Let's say hello to Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy. I know you were fascinated, Alana, by the weather and what it can do.
Oh, always. Yeah. And that, quite the story. Listen, they tried to sink it and it came back. Take a hint. It's not going anywhere. Neither is our winter weather. We're not finished, even though today feels like a tease of what's to come for spring. We've got cloud cover in Tooele County as you look towards Antelope Island, and the clouds have really spread out through northern Utah this evening. They're going to continue to do that. As we look at the satellite radar, you see the reason why. Our southwesterly flow bringing that deck of clouds, which is thickest right now in central Utah for the Wasatch Back and over in the basin. We do have clearer conditions up north. I want to show you that because we have a live view from Logan. Yeah, not as much cloud cover. That will change here in the next hour or so. The clouds, just a good indicator that we're dragging moisture into the state, and moisture potential will be there as our next storm rolls through. 63 right now in Salt Lake, unbelievably pretty. Usually this time of year we're in the low 50s, so we're way above that. 58 in Logan, 67 in Green River, 58 in Blanding, and upper 60s in St. George, where the clouds in the southwestern corner of the state halted. Daytime heating just a little bit. You may remember this time yesterday, St. George was sitting in the low 70s. We get 50s for the next several hours. We're going to stay dry along the Wasatch Front tonight. Then we're going to change the game a little bit, but not before we get a big change, and that's going to come in the way of the wind. The winds of change. They're going to be gusty, they're going to be strong, and we have the potential for blowing dust. Brand new wind advisory issued this afternoon for the West Desert. This goes into effect at noon tomorrow and will hold on through Thursday evening. We're talking about wind gusts up to about 55 miles per hour. The Tooele and Rush Valley is part of this, the Great Salt Lake Desert and Mountains, portions of Juab, Millard, and Iron counties. We know the areas that are prone to that southwest flow, and even though we won't be under advisory in Salt Lake County, gusty conditions should be expected. We're going to play with precipitation type yet again. Do you feel like you heard this last week? Because you did. This is what's interesting, though. We get a trailing system that keeps active skies. So the warmth with our southwesterly flow will be there. By tomorrow evening, when moisture starts to show up, our southerly flow in place, and we won't see anything but valley rain. It will be mountain snow above 7,000 feet. We stay with those higher snow levels into Thursday morning. Mountain valleys at 6,500 feet will maybe see some mixed precipitation, but below that still rain. A cold front will come through later in the day on Thursday. That will drop very rapidly the snow level to the valley floor. We could see a snow squall, first one of the season. You know, when that happens, we get an intense burst of snow, and it often complicates travel, something we're going to watch closely. We keep the snow levels at the valley floor through Friday night, but we're not going to see constant precipitation then. We actually dry out through the day on Friday, and then Friday night we're at it again. Let me show you what I mean. As we take a look at the futurecast, you can see wet weather to our south, a cutoff low bringing a little bit of cloud cover, maybe the possibility of an isolated storm over towards Lake Powell into tonight. But our main focus is that atmospheric river hitting the coast and the cold front that comes through with it. Southerly flow ahead of it. Cloud cover in place with mild conditions for tomorrow. Very strong winds. That will be the big weather talker. Later on, we start to get wet weather and the cold front wants to move through. Our model takes it through a little earlier, but we're going to see that main front as we head into the evening hours. But we're starting with valley rain, mountain snow. It becomes mixed precipitation. And as the cold front makes its way through northern Utah, we'll open the door for colder air and change that snow level. Look at that swath of moisture by Thursday afternoon. There we go. Latest update aligning over I-15. This is 7 p.m. This is after the cold front will pass, and that looks like decent accumulation in a short amount of time. Things could get sloppy very quickly. That's why we want to forewarn you early that a squall could happen. We have moisture Thursday night in northeastern Utah and anywhere that sees a northwest flow. Winter storm watch posted for the mountains. That starts Thursday morning. How much snow's coming? Well, 1 to 2 feet generally speaking. 6 to 12 for the northern mountains, 10 to 20 for central. Southern mountains could go 1 to 2 feet really healthy. I think the Cottonwoods, western Uintas could be in that 15 to 30 range. They're favored by the northwest flow, which is why those numbers will be higher. Wet weather holds on into the weekend. A trailing system Friday night into Saturday with cold air in place could bring additional snow. 50s and 60s, snow. I didn't stutter. Cold air. 67 in Moab, 63 in St. George. Here's a look at the next 7 days. You get rain in the south, holding on through Friday morning, drying out just slightly isolated. Next week, another storm coming through. There's the Wasatch Front. Windy, a windy Wednesday. Yeah, get ready for it. The winds hold on through Thursday with rain and snow and then colder air. Snow, and we're talking about 60s today. Boy, I hope you're paying attention.
Hey.